Good morning, dear students of class 10th. In our previous chapter, we have learned about communication and its types and how it plays a significant role in one's professional career. We have understood in last chapter that what are the types of communications. It was verbal, non-verbal, visual, and all these things we have gone through. Now in this session 2, communication cycle, we will understand that what is communication cycle. When we communicate to other person, then we are the sender and he or she who is listening to us is the receiver. So this cycle goes in between two people. I send a message, that person on the other hand receive the message, and after receiving the message he gives the response that what he understood or what he could not understood, means some question may be there. That response from the receiver is called feedback. So when communication cycle completes, then feedback is generated, and that is very important. Principles of effective communication. When we communicate with each other, what should be the practice and what should be the effective communication? First is simple language. Simple language means the language used in communication should be simple. It should be understandable by both the sender and the receiver. So it is clear that if language is mutually understood, then only the communication cycle will be completed. Definite. The communication should be definite. That is, its aim should be clear in the mind of the sender. Complete and concise. The information provided in the communication should be complete and to the point. Appropriate medium, a proper medium of communication should be used, taking several factors into account, such as timing, the distance between the sender and the receiver, and the nature of the interaction. Means if somebody is listening to me, he or she should be standing in front of me or in a way that she or he can understand my language or my words. Authentic information given should be factual. It should not be misleading or false. When we communicate to others, when we give some facts or some truths, only then the other person is convinced with us and he or she understand what we are speaking. So next is courteous. The sender should be polite, courteous while communicating. It helps in building a healthy relationship. If somebody is angry, the second person will not listen to him or her. So this is the next feature. Elements of a communication cycle. Before proceeding further, आगे जाने से पहले, let us discuss the various elements of the communication cycle. Sender, idea generated by the sender. Message coded means message is prepared. Message sent using a channel. And message perceived, message received by the receiver. And decoded means understood, and after understanding it, he gives the feedback, he or she gives the feedback. So this is the communication cycle. You can study it. Defining feedback. So I have told you that feedback is the necessary part of the communication cycle. Feedback is an essential factor in the process of the communication cycle. It is the response or reaction of the receiver to the sender after perceiving or understanding the message. In your class also, when example is given, the monitor of the class has been instructed by the teacher to explain the rules of sitting in the library. She explains each rules one by one. You all listen to her carefully and follow the rules. As a result, the class gets the reward of being the most disciplined class in school. The recognition reveals the impact of the feedback. Now, when you got this reward, this is the feedback of the message what you understood and applied in your class. So this is called feedback. One other example was also given on the last page. You can read it and understand. It is also regarding your class, and being a student you can understand it. Now comes feedback can be positive or negative. It is obvious. Positive feedback indicates that the sender can continue his communication in the same manner. If in your class your teacher is teaching you any chapter, and if you are giving a positive response, that means the teacher can understand that the chapter is going on well, and she or he can continue in the same manner in the class. If you give some negative response, or you are not understanding the chapter, that means the teacher has to change the method of teaching, or in a way, or giving example, or some other method she or he can apply in your class. So here, that's why the feedback in the class also, it is very important. Importance of feedback. So you have already understood that what is the importance of feedback. Feedback is required to continue the process of active communication. When you give the feedback, then only the sender of the message can understand that he should change the way of the giving message to other. Feedback is a vital part in second paragraph. Feedback is a vital part of effective learning, as it gives clear guidance to the students on how to improve their knowledge and performance. It can enhance a student's confidence, self-awareness, and enthusiasm for learning. Depending on the feedback, one can take the right action for the next step. So effective feedback must. Please go through it and understand. You will understand it undoubtedly. Let us understand the importance of feedback with the help of an example. During a clay modeling period, the teacher was giving feedback to on the performance of students. Rohan, one of the students, was disheartened as he could not make a model of an aeroplane even after it was demonstrated to him 4 or 5 times. So many times the things were told to him, but he was not able to demonstrate. The teacher observed him and figured out the problem. She said, Rohan, you can do it. It's just that you need to do it carefully with a focused mind. I have full confidence in you. Try again. With such positive feedback from the teacher, Rohan experienced a surge in his confidence. He did well in this time. Everybody clapped loudly as his efforts were laudable. Feedback is important in the following ways. Basis of problem solving. If feedback is on the basis of problem solving, then the problem will be solved by the students. Effective listening. Feedback results into effective listening. When feedback is given, the sender becomes cautious. In your class also, if you are giving some feedback, it may be positive or negative, the teacher or the sender in the class will become cautious of the message sent by him. So this enables him to understand if communication has been successful or not. So that's why this feedback is a very important part of communication cycle. Can motivate means feedback can motivate. Students need motivation. Students need motivation to study and to perform the given task well. Right feedback given at the right time can do wonders for them. If some student is doing mistake or something wrong, at the right time, if the feedback is given to him or her that please student do it in this way, that will motivate the student to do that. I should do it in this way so to get my aim, to achieve my desired goal. Can improve performance. The right time, if the feedback is given by the sender to the receiver will understand the problem and he or she will solve it, and his or her performance will be improved. Tool for continued learning. Feedback plays a vital role in learning. Learning is an ongoing process. Proper feedback prevents you from getting distracted and pushes you to remain aligned to your goal. in class, if the students are doing understanding the things in wrong way, if the right time the things are told to them that okay, this is your mistake and please do the improvement, the student will improve it in the ongoing chapter, and the study of the student will be continued. It will not be distracted because of some mistake, because correct the mistake is corrected on right time. One is descriptive feedback. Descriptive feedback is includes specific information in the form of written comments on verbal conversation that help the learner understand what the needs to do in order to improve. Descriptive feedback. Sometimes if students are doing some mistake, something is given to them in written or verbal communication, or verbal conversation is done with them that here you were wrong. So in detail the problem is told, or in detail the mistake is told them and they can understand it well. Benefits of descriptive feedback: you can do it yourself. And factors essential to giving descriptive feedback: it should be goal oriented, it should be actionable. If feedback is given, it should be goal oriented in right direction. It should aware the student that what should he do to achieve the goal, actually where he was wrong. It should be told them. Actionable: the feedback should be actionable, that the students have knowledge but do not have where to apply it. Then he or she should be told what to do to get the proper goal. So the feedback should be actionable. Yes, students' next requirement is of the feedback is that it should be user friendly. The feedback should be given in an easy to understand language so that the students can comprehend, they can understand what they are supposed to do to achieve the learning aim. Otherwise, the feedback provided to them will prove to be worthless. Timely: the student should receive the feedback on time, when it is still possible for them to put it to use. Suppose if the student is doing something wrong and at the proper time she or he is made aware that here you are wrong and you can improve, so they will improve in time. Continuous: the feedback should be given continuously along with instructions. This enables the students to remain focused on their goal. If some student is doing something wrong in between, if she or he is not instructed properly, they will continue doing the mistakes. So continuously the feedback should be given to the students, to the receiver, and here they are students. Consistent: the students should be given a consistent feedback, regular feedback. Otherwise they will not be able to rely on it, and in turn will not be able to follow it. So these are some requirement of the feedback. Now comes the two types of feedback. One is specific and other is non-specific feedback. Specific feedback is that which is detailed about something particular. If something is being done and the students are told particularly that here on this point you are good or you are not doing good, so that will be called specific feedback. This is relating to a task that individual's performance. It is beneficial as it gives the receiver something substantial, something very important to think about and work on the areas which need improvement. So specifically, if for some task they are told that here you need improvement or you are doing wrong, or if you are doing positive, right, then it is good. This is called specific feedback. Non-specific feedback. Non-specific feedback in general gives a vague response to the receiver. It may not be much help. It may be not of much help as it does not guide the receiver properly to achieve the desired goal. Means it is not specifically about something, it is a response regarding a big scenario. Like if some class is doing good and they are told, for example, great job. So in a group they are told great job, but who has done great and who has not done, who has done something which is average, so it is not clear. So this is called non-specific feedback. The issue with the above remark is that is not specific. If somebody is told, okay, great job, so that person will not be understanding that what is great about his job and where he or she need improvement. Need for specific feedback. Here you could understand, you can understand that specific feedback is required for improvement. So here specific feedback can be highly constructive. It can be constructive because here you are giving a feedback about something particularly regarding a task. It might prove to be beneficial to the receiver because the receiver is being told that you are good or you can good or you are average. If this specific feedback is given about some work, then he can improve. So here we have completed this chapter and recap is given. Please go through it carefully. It will give you small tips about the chapter, and that will be very fruitful for you to complete this exercise. Assessment is given. Fill in the blanks. Fill in the blanks. Few options. Fill in the blanks. True, false. All these are very much required for you to complete this exercise with the help of the chapter. So when you will be going through it, you will be understanding the chapter very well. And all these things are very much there. All the answers are there in this chapter. And here are some one-word questions. I hope when you will be going through the chapter, you will be able to answer all these questions, and because answers are given in the end, but it is for you to be sincere while completing this exercise, that you first try to solve these questions yourself. After that, you can get the help of the answers. In the end, few questions are given which are solved and few are given which are unsolved. These solved questions will help you to give you guidelines how the unsolved questions will be solved. Means a picture of the answers, that how the questions are to be answered which are unsolved. So please go through all these questions. Actually, these solved questions are telling you how the questions will be asked in the board exams. So these are unsolved questions which you have to solve. All the answers are there in the chapter. I hope you will be able to solve all these questions, and the chapter is very easy, and you have done so many things in 9th class syllabus, and that's why I told you that keep your book with you in 10th class also. So many things are same in that 9th class syllabus and 10th class syllabus. So thank you very much. I hope you will do it in time and send me your feedback, your response of this chapter by Saturday evening, by today evening. Today is Saturday, so by today evening you will be sending me this feedback of the chapter. You will be doing it in notebooks, and it should be neat and clean, and please keep your notebook safe. Thank you very much.